Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Dose of Sunshine. I am your host, Sunny Nielsen. Thank you so much for joining me on today's live episode. Thank you so much. If you are joining me live, I would love for you to drop into the comments #live. If you're catching the replay, of course, #replay. I love to see all the people that are joining me, seeing my video, and coming to interact with me. So I am actually really excited about today's topic because it's a continuation of the previous live stream, which started the 5 tips to better speak to your ideal client. Now, if you want to know what tip number 1 was, you got to go watch the other video. But we're going to start today's episode with tip number 2. Tip number 2 is speaking in your ideal client's voice. Now, I want you to think about that for just a second. It sounds obvious, but oftentimes things in business, they sound obvious until you really start digging deep. Now, speaking in your ideal client's voice isn't the concept of, like when Ursula stole Ariel's voice. Oh, and now she's speaking like Ariel to try and win Prince Eric. I think it's Prince Eric. It's not that. It really comes down to making sure that you understand the way that your client communicates, the way that they like to speak, that they interpret different things within their environment, within their world. If you can do a little bit of client research to better understand how they speak, how they communicate with, their friends and family, anyone that they interact with when they purchase, you can then shape how you interact with them so that it more easily connects with them. It, more effortlessly connects. A great example is when you know that someone is using like highfalutin words. All of a sudden they're like, oh, that was absolutely fortuitous that we happened to meet. And they may not have the random crazy accent I just added to that. But you go, does anybody really talk like that? Like, I don't talk like that. Do you talk like that? Like, I don't talk like that. It's one of those weird things. And I don't think people realize that they somehow think that if they use big words or they use all these crazy things, that somehow it will make them seem smarter, make them look more like an expert. And while they may think that, and in some ways, I'll give you props and I'll give you bonus points for knowing some really big words, I'm not going to be so inclined to connect with you or to want to buy from you or to want to continue to engage with you. Now, if you resonate with that, if you've ever known anyone who totally uses big words just to use big words, please drop in the #big words into the comments because I know, straight up, I know that you know someone who's done this. And you really look at them and go, come on, man, just be real. Like, dude, you don't have to do that. I'm just here. I'm me. You're you. Let's just have a conversation. And that's really the point that I want to make for you is the conversations that you're doing, the things that you want to say to your ideal client. This is a conversation. You are trying to speak to your ideal client and you want them to in turn speak to you. So don't be afraid to, keep things simple, keep things direct. Have the simple conversation with them. So if you want to have a conversation with your ideal client, here's my little tip for you that you can do, little piece of homework that will help you better speak in your ideal client's voice. And it kind of goes back to in my previous video when I said, talk to your client. Go out, have a conversation with them, sit down and just ask them, how do you feel? What kind of experiences are you having either when interacting with my product or program or just getting a really good baseline of what they are experiencing in their world, in their day-to-day life? Because all of that information, all of that data will help you realize, like if your ideal client is a stay-at-home mom and you're selling some like little kid toy or little kid program or something like that, but the little kid's not buying it, it's the parents that are buying it. going and having a conversation with them and realizing that stay-at-home moms don't need you to say the technical aspects of the ratio of the blah, blah, blah. Like the mom's like, no, dude, I don't need that. I literally want you to say it makes them go in the potty faster. Like if I'm trying to potty train my kid, you can say it makes them go in the potty faster. And you can say potty in your conversation. You can say potty in your copy. Because guess what? As a mom, I use potty. In fact, my clients kind of tease me sometimes because when I say, oh, I need to take a break, I'm going to go potty and then we'll pick back up, they all kind of giggle because that's part of my life. But they also realize that this is how I talk. And my clients understand that like my mom life is part of my business life, and we accept that as well because a lot of my clients are also mothers and business owners. So we can all relate to the potty talk, to the potty verb, potty noun. It can be multiple things. Who knew? So, if you can relate to the potty talk and that common denominator that you're trying to find between you and your ideal client, ideal client being me or anyone else out here, please drop a note in the comments. I would love to hear, does this resonate with you? Can you see yourself going out there, having a conversation? If you talk to your clients regularly about their life, their environment, and things like that, please drop a yes, I do, or done and done, either of those. Yes, I do, or done and done. I want to see those in the comments. Because if you're doing that, you are already way ahead of the game. And if you're not doing that, take a deep, hard look and realize that a 5-minute conversation or a 10-minute conversation with your ideal client can be the difference between you making, 3, 4, 5x in your business, as you slowly grow your business little by little, inch by inch, and rapidly excelling, jumping, and you're getting 20x, 30x results. I have seen it. I've seen it in my clients. I've seen it in my corporate world. If you can connect with your ideal client and speaking to them in their voice gives you that eye to eye, I understand, I'm speaking to you on your level. If you can reach that level of communication, that level of intimacy in a conversation at every step of your messaging, whether it's just a random ad, a billboard ad, a Facebook ad, print magazine, if you can reach that level of intimacy and communication in a quick and concise manner, how much faster are they going to become a raving fan, a loyal fan, and they're just going to want to eat it up because they're realizing that you're having a conversation with them on their level and you're speaking to them as a real person. So that is my one tip to you. Speak to them in their voice. Find out what they really want to hear, and then allow yourself to reach them on that communication level, back and forth, eye to eye, because when you reach that intimate level, you can reach them in a way that all of your competition is not at this time. So if you want to reach your clients, please drop a note in the comments. If you have any questions or concerns on how to speak to your client or how to do that deep research in order to figure out how to speak to them in their voice, feel free, drop a note in the comments. I would love to see what anyone who's already doing it. If you have any tips for anyone else, throw it in the comments. If you have questions about how to do it, drop those questions in the comments. I will go through and I will give you as much as I can as far as tools and resources so that you can accomplish this for your business. Now, if you are catching me here right at the end of my live stream, again, this is Dose of Sunshine. I am Sunny Nielsen, messaging expert. And today's episode, we were talking about tip number 2 of the 5 tips to better speak to your ideal client. And the tip today was speaking in their voice. So my last little note to you is don't be afraid to get eye to eye to your client in print, in media, in video. If you can reach them in this level of intimate communication, and it can happen in words, in video, in movies, however it is, if you can reach this intimate level of communication, those people will want to buy from you and will want to buy from you again and again and again forever and ever. Amen. So thank you so much for joining me. Please join me again on my next episode of Dose of Sunshine, where we will continue to go into the 5 tips to better speak to your ideal client. Tip number 3 is coming right at you next, and that is talking about industry jargon. Do you do it? Do you not? You'll find out next time. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. We will see you later.